Hello, everybody, and welcome to the workshop, episode 339. I am Scottporteous, the founding father of the comedy workshop. No one will ever call me that, but I'll never get tired of saying it. But if you are, let me know and I'll stop saying it. Thank you for tuning in to the workshop, another exciting episode. We have a great panel of comics. Before I introduce them, I'll just introduce to anybody who hasn't seen the comedy workshop what this is I contacted several different comics from all parts of the world, and I give them a topic, 3 to 5 minutes to write a comedy about, write jokes about, and then they will perform their set. And then after every comic has a set, they'll get feedback, suggestions, tags, really anything to help improve the joke. Also, this is a comedy safe, no, wait, open comedy forum. I want to say that instead. By that, I mean something might be said that's a little edgy, it's a little controversial, it's a little taboo, that's a little offensive. We're not trying to be offensive. We're just comics trying to figure out what jokes work and what don't. And the only way we can figure it out is by saying them. So please keep an open mind as we're just comics trying to figure out what's funny. Pretty much what this is a place where an idea becomes a joke, becomes a bit, becomes a set, becomes a special. And with that being said, I'm ready to introduce our panel. So we got Mr. Bikehiatrist in Sydney, Australia. Thank you for joining. We have Maurice, I want to say Hill?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I should check the name first. We have Maurice Hill in Ohio. We have Sonny, I didn't read your last name, Chibber in Minnesota. And Jeremy Wagner in Vietnam. Okay, and I am not going to be doing much comedy tonight because, like I said, I'm tired and I think I have a low blood count. With that being said, we will also, just so everybody knows what's going to happen, there's no, not very strict. Once you're at 4 minutes, I'll do this. Once you're over 5, I'll do this. If you're over, it's fine. It's just, I'm not going to cut you off or anything. Unless you're at 8, then I might, try to because I'm really passive. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty chill. Y'all, so yeah, I think that's it. And with that being said, if nobody has any questions, let's start. Before we start, let's introduce the topic to Mr. Bikehiatrist. This topic is Also, everybody who's watching, thank you so much. If you want to read your comments, I'm more than happy to. If you want to have credibility to your comments, you must accept StreamYard as your Lord and Savior, because for some reason it only comes off as anonymous when you put in your comment. But if you click on that link that's in the chat there, it will allow me to see your whole name. But once again, it's not the biggest of deals. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Solo layout. Okay, so Mr. Bikehiatrist with the topic of allowance. Whenever you're ready, you let me know.
Hi guys, I'm a Mr. Bikehiatrist, which is basically a combination of bike riding and psychiatry. And this thing here that you can see here, that is a biking shirt, mountain biking that is. And this is also my pajamas, my working shirts, and everything. I basically live in this thing, like the characters from the Star Trek. And I'm lucky because my wife allows me to wear this absolutely everywhere. One of the lucky ones. So anyway, because I don't really like researching topics using AI, I don't really believe in artificial intelligence. I rely on my own intelligence and on intelligence of the other people. I like the idea of the focus groups. So as a mountain biker, I went mountain biking with a friend, what used to be friend before the little incident, which I'm going to tell you about. And I thought I'll do a focus group on him and see what he thinks about allowance. So I went mountain biking with him and I said, man, how much do you give your kids allowance? And he's 50 years old, same as me, And these people, oh God, I hate them. They like rubbing it in your nose, He goes, my kids are grown up. They go to uni. They make their own money. I'm like, yeah, great. You see, I've got a kid that's 3 years old. Everywhere I go as a 50-year-old, all the assumptuous asses thinks that I'm a grandfather. you know. So I like to rub it back into their nose. So I gave this guy such a burn, you know. I said to him, "Ha, fine, but you see, my wife is 10 years younger than me, which is true, and hence my young one is still a young little child that I support through allowance. So I'm guessing your wife is like your age?" He goes, set himself up, get this. The tool set himself up for a double burn. He goes, "Oh, my wife is about 3 years older." What an amateur. So here comes the double burn. I go, "Oh, okay. So imagine if you married a woman 10 years younger than you." The double burn. And had a child. What kind of allowance would you give to that child? And get this, I don't wonder he's not my friend anymore. He goes, about $50. 50, $50? Are you like seriously? Like who in their right mind in this day and age gives their kids $50 allowance? I don't. I give them every day 30 minutes of screen time because I'm aware of the modern world where money means nothing, you know. And I mean the guys in the Davos, they're working on making sure that for everyone, not just kids, but for everyone, money means nothing. You know, you'll be working like 12, 20 hours on your computer, making sure that everything runs smooth, and then you'll get allowance to either go to sleep or watch YouTube or Netflix for another 10 hours. You know, that's going to be the allowance in the future. And well, you know, it's not happened that way yet because we still, you know, give allowance to the children. You know, like that little child, what's his name? The little millennial child god, Muskie. You know, every time you do a transaction with a PayPal, you basically give a bit of allowance money to that prodigy. Like, you know, he's set up to destroy the world with his little childhood fantasies of inserting chips into people's head and so on. Oh God! If anyone ever invents the you know, the time machine, to just go back in time and make sure that his parents, you know, give him allowance money, because that's what happened. He didn't get allowance money, so he had to make his own money making computer games and like now destroying our world and making it into this dystopian sci-fi book. God. So anyway, and radio allowance. This is another issue I'm having with allowance. Allowance is a very inappropriate word to be used because it's not. It's not. I don't want to give money to children to allow them to do whatever they want. Like I was guilty of this thing. When my parents gave me allowance money, I would piss off and do all the things that they don't allow me to do. You know, drugs, alcohol, porn, all that kind of stuff. So it should be changed. It's not allowance at all. You know, that's what I think of allowance. So anyway, I would just like to thank Mr. Portishead, Porterhouse, Prometheus,
Portier.
Porteus,
Posthumous.
Porteus, the Greek god of comedy. For I believe Porteus is the Greek god of comedy. For giving me the chance to tell what's brewing in my head. You know, let it verbalize, not just keep it out here, in here.
Thank you so much, Mr.
There you go.
Psychiatrist.
It's
Oh man, that was well, maybe the geek god of comedy. Am I right? That was bad. Good job. That was very funny. If sorry I muted you, Maurice. I just you had some food or something that was kind of messing up with the sound. So
Oh, I did.
something there was noise being made, and I just wasn't sure what it was.
I was putting on my headphones because I couldn't hear it that well without my.
Oh, okay. My
headphones in.
apologies, man.
No problem.
Okay, so once again, good job. I feel like you should have more a bike and psychiatrist wordplay going around. So like, I feel like I'm a bike. So like, you know, like, oh, I'm a psychiatrist and kind of explain why, like how you're cycling things over. You know, just
Cycling things
I know,
over.
I know. I can't escape who I am. With with the allowance, I
Pun
feel like
machine.
I hate it. Trust me, I hate it as much as everybody who hears it. I with the allowance, I feel like if you want to, if you're comfortable with going dark or not, but there's gotta be like a child labor joke there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I can definitely. Yeah.
My mom used to tell me that like my allowance was getting to eat and sleep. Like, so it was similar to what you said. She's like, I pay for your food. So I'll give you $10 a month or $10 a week, but it costs $5 a day to feed you. So you're already negative in the hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Clean your room.
I had lots of other ideas. I was thinking, you know, like because we like I'm also a stay-at-home dad, so I get this allowance in minutes to my kids, but I don't do my chores, which my wife thinks that I'm doing. I get them to do it, and then I give them extra minutes.
Oh, that's great.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
When you're making the reference about like how I think it's just something about like to see you as a grandpa. I think you can do the burn on the kids if you say like, "Oh, I'm a grandpa," huh? And you give them like allowance. It's like a nickel. It's like, what's this? Like, well, in my day, a nickel was worth. You know what I mean? Like you can totally play off.
Or one of those wooden nickels is even better. Like, what would you get with a wooden nickel? You get like a free drink at the bar or something like that.
I was telling Scott, I'm from Croatia. We didn't get nickels. We would get $200 million dollar dinars note, because that's how worthless our money was. Like seriously, like you would go to buy yourself some chewing gums with 500,000 note.
Wow.
Yeah.
My good friend is from Zagreb. Maybe you know him.
Could be.
Really?
Small country.
You said 50. You said like your friend pays allowance $50. I was like pesos, like $50. That's a lot.
Well, like when I was a kid, $5 is what we got, and like you could go to the movies on $5, and you could get like some candy at the movies. But like nowadays, the movies would probably cost you like $15.
Shit, I was spoiled. I was 20.
People give to
That's Canadian though.
I don't know. I'd say $5.
Yeah.
You want more than that, you get a job.
Yeah, but inflation, the cost of living is higher now. I feel like allowance.
Yeah, if you guys know what mountain bikers, like, I mean, seriously, the people I go out riding with, they're buying their kids' bikes that are $10,000. So it's insane.
Let's leave it to the comment section. Anybody watching, what's a proper amount of allowance to give to a kid?
Yeah,
comment on that. Yeah, and then I wrote something. I don't know if you want to go political or not, but I put down like how the government gives us an allowance.
Yeah, like, I didn't want to go over my time.
Yeah, no problem.
Missed a bit because the taxation money is really allowance. Right. Should be the other way around.
If the government makes us do chores.
Yeah.
I had this topic before, and I wrote a joke where there was an anteater, and he was the bouncer at a nightclub, and his job was to allow so many ants into the building. I think it was 100, and anything over 100 he got to eat. So that was his job, and that's his salary. You can't have too many ants in the nightclub because there's only enough cake for so many people.
Now who's a pun master, Jeremy?
I wouldn't know. I'm not really a nightclub kind of guy. They wouldn't let me in a nightclub to start with.
I could totally see that being a rave shirt instead of a bicycle shirt, though. Like just
the
all night.
Yeah, you can use it. You know why? Because these shirts, the more you sweat, the less it stinks. So,
Maurice or Sonny, do you have any feedback or comments you want to give?
So I thought it was good. I definitely want to hear more about your name, the Bikeatrist, like what Scott was saying. And also, what do they call guys that marry younger women? They always have names for women that marry younger guys. So I wonder, and then maybe talking about like, oh, I married her because I give her allowance or something, or the other way around. But I thought it was good.
Well,
She
I'm
gives you
employed by-
allowance.
Yeah, I'm employed by her
There you go.
as a babysitter. So, you know.
I have to make $10,000 a month, and I get allowed to have sex.
It's like a sales.
Sales pitch.
If you're not making the money, then I mean you're not getting the prize.
If I go down that path because of the political situation, and you know, I'm actually quite curious to see how the young ones are going to react to this kind of stuff when I start posting on a YouTube. So
I'm excited for you.
that's going to be.
I'm excited for you, Scott.
Maurice, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I thought it was great, man. I thought it was, you went into great detail about how the story came about. I think it is just, was it Scott? I think to go along with what he said, just kind of getting an idea or finding the joke and maybe rephrasing allowance. I always like to shatter the expectation with jokes a lot of times. So like, everyone's mind when you say allowance, the first thing they think of is money. So I always would I would find the jokes and other ways to think of things that could go along with allowance that isn't money, but it's also like you're allowing your kids to live, you're allowing them to breathe, you're allowing them to live in your
baggage
house.
Allowance, like on the plane, they allow you to carry on something like
exactly.
that.
They allow you to do something. Where it's not so much monetary, but like with kids, you can make anything an allowance because you're in control of their lives pretty much. So like you allow them to wake up in the morning. You're allowed to eat my cereal that I bought for you with my money.
Don't give me any ideas. I've been in the army, so
I allowed them to wake up this morning.
My way with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be my only recommendation is just like use the same story, but change the meaning of allowance.
Yeah.
I can totally see
so that it's more off, catches people off guard or something. Yeah, element of surprise.
Correct,
it's not what somebody was thinking.
Yeah, shattering expectations.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Shattering expectations.
And ladies.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot of work, guys. I'm gonna just stick with doing the stuff that I've already done.
Great job again, Mr. Psychiatrist. And,
yeah.
Maurice, we'll have you. Hang on, I want to change it up a bit because I didn't mean to do it the last time that I had it set up this way. I kind of like the way that I was shown by gesture. Here we go. So, boom.
Spotlight.
Yeah, not a spotlight necessarily, so you can see people on the. So it's I don't know. I like this format. Anyways, your topic I believe is portioning, right?
Yeah, it was portioning.
Okay, give me a second whenever you're ready, and I'll put the timer on.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, so do we need to announce the topic or anything, or do I just go straight?
No, it's already on the thing.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, I remember growing up. My dad, you know, when you're a kid and you're growing up, you kind of really don't have any idea of portioning at all. You just kind of eat whatever you want, eat as much as you want. I mean, if you had it in the refrigerator, that's what you did. But my dad used to always look at me and go, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. He would always tell me that. And at the time, I genuinely didn't understand what he meant. Like even now, I don't understand why people tell you that your eyes are bigger than your stomach. You know what I mean? Like my eyes don't get full after the second time after seconds for a third time. Like my eyes, like if I eat a gallon of ice cream, my eyes don't get bloated. Like my eyes aren't bloated at all. Matter of fact, it's the opposite. My eyes give a clear vision of where I'm about to lay for the next 2 hours if I eat 7 pieces of cake. Like that's just what's going to happen. Like I don't understand why people say that. Whenever someone says your eyes are bigger than your stomach, I just assume that they failed biology class. Like they just didn't really pay attention to what was happening in biology class at all. And this is partially why I don't do diets. I don't think diets would ever work for me. Because when you do diets, they want you to eat in proportions. They want to proportion your meals. They want you to do so many ounces of chicken per meal. They want you to count your calories. Let's get 2 ounces of vegetables with 4 macros of cauliflower. What the fuck are macros? I don't, what I mean? I'm not trying to do algebra before I eat a bowl of chicken and rice. Like that's not what I'm trying to do at all. You know, proportions should only matter for people who are morbidly obese, in my personal opinion. Let's be real, because they've clearly eaten enough for all of us. They need to chill the fuck out. Like those are the only people that need to have proportions. And I'm not fat shaming at all. This is not fat shaming. What I'm doing is a proportion shaming. It's very different. Proportion shaming is a completely different thing. You know, if you see somebody eating way too fucking much and you ask them if they counted the macros, it's a different thing. If you have somebody who's just fat and they're eating, you're like, wow, you're overweight. I think they know that already. That's not something that you're giving a surprise with. But I always think it's interesting whenever people talk about proportions and trying to go on diets, and if you're exercising enough, you know, I think it has nothing to do with proportions. I think if you just get up and walk outside, like that counts. You can still eat whatever you want. Now, you know, dad bods are in right now, so you know, I blame Chipotle for proportions. I blame them for ruining America with proportions. You know, I think it's weight racist for what Chipotle does with fat people that are in front of me. Honestly, you have the fat guy in front of me, and you know he gets a full scoop of chicken. They see me behind him, they give me a half a scoop of chicken. What the fuck is that? Why are you giving him more? He clearly needs less chicken. Why are you giving all the chicken to him? He doesn't need any more chicken. He doesn't need extra of anything. And I'm the one getting less food. If anything, I should be getting more chicken. I don't understand why Chipotle does that. They ration the wrong people. I don't agree with that at all. I think if we found a way to what else is that right here? Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got on that part. So yeah, I'll end it on that part.
Okay.
Everything else was still under construction, so I'll end it there.
Good job. I'm just gonna. I saw a spotlight, so I'll do this instead. Where'd he go? Did he leave?
I don't know.
Oh, did I kick him out back?
Oh
Oh shit.
man, Scott.
I'm hosting and doing this. Hang on. I'll message him.
You need better proportioning.
Portioning.
Oh yeah, I said proportioning. Is that even a word?
I'm sorry. I think I booted you by accident. Sorry about that, Maurice.
Oh, you good?
Oh man, not really. I suck at this producing thing. That was good. Good job. I had ideas. You didn't say things, but I thought of some ideas.
Yeah.
So I feel like I wrote down portioning punishment, like how you can be grounded for like a day at a time. I don't know. Look at every examples. I don't know how comfortable you are with doing drug material, but I just thought like I don't know if it's predictable or not. But you're like, my eyes don't get bloated; they get bloodshot.
Yeah.
Then I wrote some really bad pun. I put algae broth. I'm actually proud of that one. Oh, come on, that's good. Algae broth. All right. Anyways,
is that how you make like math soup or?
It's instead of
spaghettis.
it's alphabet soup numbers only.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. I think
Well,
the
then
word.
it'd be like numeric soup.
All right. Fucking stat checker soup over here.
Alphabet soup without the alphabet. Like that's. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'll be more careful before you fact check my puns.
Thank you.
Portioning the word does sound like fat. It sounds a little fat shamey. Because I think of portly when I think of, you know what I mean? Like that word itself is like kind of. So I can we call it something else like I don't know, food balancing or some other example. When you said weight racist, I was like, please get some examples because that is so fucking funny of a concept.
Yeah, I didn't get into. I had some other stuff written down, but I was still working on it when we started. But
like, I feel like there's opportunity for a misdirection joke about like having someone go to the back of the bus because of a weight thing. Not like just right. So I feel like there's so much there you can do with weight.
A lot of meat on the bone with that one.
Totally. I'm sorry I don't have much more to add, but yeah, that was really funny.
I thought it was good. I liked how you talked about macros. I wonder, like, because I think of Weight Watchers for counting calories, that sort of thing. So I wonder if you can talk about more items that count calories. But yeah, I thought it was great.
Awesome.
I think it's weird how like chicken doesn't have much calories by itself, but when you add like cheese and sour cream and bacon bits, and that's where the calories come from, is like the good taste of the chicken. Chicken doesn't taste good just by itself. Like, I liked how you said portioning, like the big guy got more food. That means that I get less food. Like, and back to my allowance, whenever I was a child, my mom, we were poor, so there was only certain food allowance for us. So yeah, that explains why I'm so small and I miss my growth spurt. Like, you're obviously smaller than the big guy who's getting more chicken. So the same for you, man. I mean, we've been held back. Like, it's solidarity, I guess.
Yeah,
That's a funny concept.
I like the eyes thing. It's not something as you were saying to me before, like look for something that's not obvious. But I thought like you would actually see if you were eating in front of the mirror. So like if you want to lose the weight, you should be eating in front of the mirror, because then you can see as you're putting on the weight.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I don't know.
What if it just immediately, like, you take a bite of a sandwich and like, whoop, you get like a half a pound bulge out the side of your chest, but then you eat like a salad and you get like a hole in the other side of your chest because salad's good for you. So like you lose some weight, but you immediately see that happening as you're eating in front of the mirror. All right. That would give you more of a reason to eat healthy. I mean, you're like, well, if I eat a salad for 5 days a week, then I'll be slim and I can fatten up on Saturday. And then,
What if you buy one of those Funhouse mirrors and you try to like balance it out?
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but like, yeah,
that would be good.
Make you look, just try to find the balance. But yeah, very funny stuff. Any more feedback, or should I go? Oh, he's gone. Okay, well, wait. Hey, I can run an ad now. Okay, so if you guys don't mind, I have a quick ad I got to run for a show that we are starting again on May 10th. So here is a quick 30-second trailer, and then we'll be right back. Oh, my ad. I have an ad. There we go.
This is The Workshop, and welcome to Turbo Comedy, where 8 comedians from The Workshop compete to see who can write the best short set in a short time. We then vote to send our favorite comedian to the final round. Comedians will have to work quickly to put together comedy bits, as each comedian only has 1 hour to write about a randomly assigned topic. They then have to perform their 3-minute set for the group. Once everyone's performed, we'll all vote online for our favorite comic. At the end of the tournament, we'll crown a winner, and whoever has the most votes will win a whopping $20. Get ready, it's time for Turbo Comedy.
It's exciting times. I heard echo. Who's got me on Facebook or something? Hang on, I want to mute Jeremy for a second. Oh, there he is. He's back. Jeremy, all right.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry, be Jeremy. When you're...
it's my turn.
It's a thing you say. Yes. Give me a second. I'll set you up. Boom. That's not you. That is you. Whenever you're ready with the topic of Hollywood.
Okay. This is kind of an old joke that I wrote more about, so I apologize for any of you guys that waited this long to see Jason Statham tell jokes. I'm actually only his stunt double. Jason Statham, he's going to be coming to Vietnam to play the role of aspiring, I wouldn't call this guy a comedian, but more like a man who speaks into a microphone. Open micer Jeremy Wagner. So, like the opening scene of this movie, Jason Statham, I mean, Jeremy Wagner, he's delivering his jokes at the open mic, and he's doing really well. Some of the comedians are even saying that he killed. Like, literally, he killed the host by stabbing him in the neck with the microphone. And then, like, Jason Statham continues his comedy career, and, like, he eventually bombs at open mic. And like he spends the next 30 minutes of the movie learning how to fly a military jet, and then he drops bombs on the comedy club in Montgomery, Alabama. And then he moves to Vietnam. So it's just a story about me, guys. They say Hollywood is the land of dreams. Like, imagine living in like Idaho or Montana, Michigan, Dakota. I don't even call it like North or South Dakota. It's just like one big pile of Dakota. But like, imagine living in one of the crappy states. I mean, there's a lot of them, but imagine if you lived in one of them. And then like you're doing like comedy in this place, and there's like, you got 4 friends, 4 followers, and they're telling you that you should move to Los Angeles to get famous. And then like 3, you move to Los Angeles, and now there's like, you have 3 friends out of 500. But when you move to Los Angeles, now you have 4 friends. So like you're building a following. But then you learn that like acting jobs are far and few between, but Denny's is always hiring. And you end up moving back to the Badlands to live with your parents. And this is what happens to most of us. We settle for Denny's when we are clearly IHOP. We're not Los Angeles people, is what I'm saying. We would have been born there. Like Hollywood would have us believing that every time we forget something, that we've like crossed paths with the Men in Black. I mean, why did I come in this room? What? I was coming in here to get something. Obviously, I ran into the Men in Black, and they just like reset my memory, and I don't remember why I came in here. But now I'm in the bathroom. Like, you guys ever go into the bathroom and like forget what you were doing in the bathroom? Like, why did I come in here? Yeah, that's just me. So my friend didn't want to plug her computer into the television like we're going to try to watch a movie. And I don't know, I think she was fearful that the television was going to take over the world. But I mean, the television is our #1 source of education. So I guess it is kind of taking over the world. That's all I got about Hollywood. I had the Walk of Fame. That's a funny way to bury people in the ground and then have people like walking around and visiting their graves. But some of those people are still alive, so it's obviously not.
Okay. I didn't write much because my brain was like I said, I'm very tired, but I wrote some things.
It's okay.
More movies for Jeremy Statham, please. That's like more genres, like comedy didn't go well.
Jeremy Statham.
Jeremy Statham, like like how Arnold Schwarzenegger did Junior. Like I feel like there's a lot of things you can kind of do. Try like.
All right.
I wrote down a really bad joke, but Hollywood gave splinters to our dreams. And that's all I got. If anybody else got some feedback, please.
It's off the direction that you were taking, but for me, Hollywood is the homeland of my ancestors, which somewhere down the line I've got the Jewish in me as well. So I don't know if that's I don't know how Jewish Statham is. Would have been quite funny to portray him as a Jew, maybe, but it could be risky.
Yeah, there is a couple of Jewish people who live here in Ho Chi Minh City that come to the open mic, so maybe they would just have a special niche joke for them guys.
Yeah.
Just slip it in there. They won't know. They'll be at home and they'll, oh shit.
Yeah.
So remind me, you're not from the U.S., right? So I wonder if you can talk about like what you.
No, I live in the U.S. Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Or I'm from the U.S., but I live in Vietnam for like 6 years now.
Oh, okay. So I wonder, like, if you're not from California, what you think of Hollywood. Also, how the sign has been like vandalized a few times. you'd probably talk about that. But I feel like you could do more about the stars. Like, definitely. I think you have something there because most of the people, I think at least half of the people are dead, maybe not more. So.
Yeah. And just tons of people continue to rush out there like they're going to get famous. And I mean, we're probably not. If we're not famous in our small towns, then there's very little chance that we're going to go out to Los Angeles and be able to start something there.
There's I just thought of a joke off of Sonny's comment there. I don't know why I was thinking of like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but like, you know how that one scene in Star Wars when Han Solo's like frozen in carbonite and you see his handprints? Like, I'm just picturing like the dead bodies of celebrities underneath the same.
They're just like pushing out. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, just a weird visual.
Like you know, like you actually have to like apply to be one of those people, and then like every year, I don't know how many people they accept, but then they'll do like a ceremony for each person to come out and put their hands and things like that. Mel Brooks had like the extra finger on his, so he's got 6 fingers on his one hand.
That could be like that should be something mentioned in the material because that's really interesting, and there's jokes there too.
Yeah, I just didn't have enough time. I put it off till the last minute. I'm sorry.
You did half the comics.
I figured that I could just riff the rest of it, but I didn't have any riff ideas. I just wrote down what I just said. So yeah, there was the Walk of Fame. I had that wrote down, but I didn't write much about it.
And you wonder why you don't get those roles. Okay. Anybody else?
You're talking about the sandwich rolls, the dinner rolls? That's a callback to Maurice's joke.
Speaking of Maurice, do you have any feedback?
Skinny ass.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely like the direction you went with the comparison of the two, between yourself and Jason Statham. Like it does make sense when they look at you and then they think about him and kind of putting your story. I thought that was a really clever way to do it. I think I definitely think finding more. I think the route of synonyms, like going with like how you're talking about the open mic stuff, and just like I thought that was a good idea. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities there with basically making it sound like you are like the poor version of Jason Statham if he became an open mic comedian. Like I think,
like if Jason Statham would have taken a different path instead of working out and exercising, he would have had to tell jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Like more or less like Jason Statham. Like I am basically the living like what is it called when you have like when you have
embodiment?
Like no, like
it was like I remember
like when you reincarnated.
Okay,
I'm the living reincarnation of Jason Statham if he went down the wrong path of life. Like,
yeah, I think it was 7th grade where I was just like, I'm fucking done with gym class. I'm not working out again. And that was when my life turned. I could have been him, but I quit working out. I quit exercising.
Yeah, it was just like walking down that path. I think that would have been a lot of meat on the bones. Like, yeah, this is what Jason Statham's life was like when he decided to go this way instead of that way. And using the same exact examples that you used with comparing your life versus like his, I think that would have been, that's a good way to run with that.
Playing off Maurice is like, this is going to be a deep cut, but you can be like, you look like Jason Statham playing the biopic of the lead singer of REM.
That's me in the corner.
It's a deep cut, but I think like
you know that one like scene in
the end of the world as we know it. If you're playing that role.
The movie, if you've seen the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Johnny Depp is sitting there and he's like all on drugs and he's like, yeah, there I was. And it like flashes to an older picture of, or an older Hunter S. Thompson, the real Hunter S. Thompson, sitting in a chair. So like he's like tripping in his mind, and he's like, "There I was," and there's the actual person who he's portraying in the video sitting right in front of him. So like it was a weird like, wow, there I was.
Like a meta thing.
No, I'm the one over in the corner, not the cool guy talking to all the chicks. Yeah.
I just like making deep cuts and like any niche references I can make based off 90s
No,
movies.
what is that guy's Michael Stipe, right?
I don't know. I just know REM.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, good stuff. Great feedback, everybody. And now doing topic of
Hey, can I just interrupt? If I die, I've got 1% on my stupid iPad. So, I mean, if I die at 50, it can happen as well.
Yeah, I got a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, man. I got a little nervous. Like, are we about to watch?
Close your eyes, everybody. Don't want to be a witness.
Didn't know what this was gonna turn
If you
into.
send me an invite, I'll switch over to the phone. So
Okay.
I'll just see how this goes. Yeah.
Thank you for the heads up. Appreciate it. All right, and let's get Sonny ready. Sonny had the topic of mountain climbing, I believe. Whenever you're ready, please let me know, and I'll put the timer on.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thanks.
Yep.
So, hi everyone. Yeah, my topic was mountain climbing. So I have done mountain climbing. I also done rock climbing, indoor rock climbing, and then I discovered I wasn't a monkey. So when I tried indoor rock climbing, I was terrible, really, really bad. And the next day, my arms were spasming like this because I was belaying my friend. They were much more successful than I was. Can you imagine? It lasted only for a day, but I'm like, what if it's permanently like this? Like, what if I had a job interview and they're like, nice to meet you? What if I was in a meeting and they were like, what do you think of this proposal? What if I was at a hockey game or something and they were winning and it looks like I was like, or what if I was getting married? You know, luckily none of those things happened. So I used to live in San Francisco, so I went to Yosemite a few times. So I actually climbed up the face of the mountain. It was great. I was like, I didn't think I could continue. I did it. We did it as a team. It felt good. And then I discovered the back of the mountain had a freaking road. A road.
Could have drove up here.
Seriously. I mean, I was like, what the heck? Now no one's going to believe me. I'm going to be like, I climbed up the mountain, but wait, isn't there a road there? Do we really think you climbed it up? No, it's ridiculous. And I didn't have photos of me on the mountain itself. And that's what I regret because I didn't want to die taking a photo when I was climbing the face of the mountain. Gosh, if I took a photo, I might have died, but at least there would have been evidence that I climbed the face of that mountain. So I'm Hindu and I went to India. Like I was born and brought up in New Jersey, but I did a pilgrimage and my parents told me it was like this mountain and like it takes like 8 to 10 hours to get up there, 8 to 12. And it was like full of dirt and whatever. I got there. It was commercial paradise. Every part of the hill, there was like refreshments. You can get coffee, or, anything you want. There's even somebody there you can hire to massage your feet. What kind of pilgrimage is this? What kind of trouble we're doing here? It's ridiculous. But then I went to this other mountain and took about 4 to 5 hours again in India. And the only one to watch out for there was the monkeys. Believe it or not, because they would steal your belongings until you gave them food. And they were kind of like, they weren't having it. They're like, nope, not going to give it to you. They would like actually hiss at you, I don't know. So I never understood why people need to go up like mountains, especially like frozen mountains like the Himalayas. I should know that. Die up there, What is the big deal? Like, why would you want to go someplace where there's 100 uncovered bodies from years ago? And so let's think about this. What kind of people would go up there? Are these people that want to be in their own horror movie and they thought it would be just cheaper to do this? I mean, it's super expensive too. It's like, I think it's like $50,000 if you want to go all the way. Do they want to commit suicide a really expensive way? I don't know. Let's think about this. I really want to do this. So I might lose my hand or get my face paralyzed. But I'm going to climb up some big mountain. And I'm the same person that, if I had a dating profile, I would be behind a big car. A big car would be behind me, a big house, because that's the type of person I am. So I think unless you're like Spider-Man, you shouldn't be climbing a mountain. And I don't even think Spider-Man ever climbed mountains, honestly. And I don't know, what are these animals thinking when they see these humans with harnesses and whatever? They're like, what the heck? Do they ever try to trick them? Do they ever try to be like, what's going on? I know like sometimes mountain goats are attracted to like people that climb mountains, right? And you think of a mountain goat, they're actually kind of trouble, and they're not actually, so probably what they're telling the mountain climbers are like, bah, bah, get away from here. So I wonder if the mountain lion, like, the mountain goat will like be like, I know that they're in charge of bridges or whatever, but they're not really related to goats. For some reason, they're actually related to antelopes or cattle, but we all think of them as goats. And they cause a lot of trouble in Wyoming. In a mountain, they're actually causing trouble for sheep. So they're bad, bad goats. So then you think about mountains, and then you think about mountain lions, right? Like, and I know when for some reason, like I never thought of a mountain lion like to be like a lion from Africa or a lion from Asia. Yes, there are lions in Asia. It just seems almost unreal to me. And I did Google it, and actually mountain lions are related more to domestic cats. So why aren't these crazy cat people going up mountains to talk to, like, to try to get a mountain lion? I don't get it. I really don't. And then, I was also thinking, like, isn't the reason why people climb mountains is because they want to seek wisdom from the wise guy on top of the mountain? Because that's what you normally think about in the cartoons or whatever. So I can imagine how it's like right now, like this guy climbs on top of the mountain, and maybe he's not even expecting the wise guy to be there and be like, oh, hello, child. What are you doing here? I just came up to climb this mountain. But why are you here? We're supposed to be social distancing. Where's your mask? God. I mean, I came here to avoid people. Okay, now that I'm here, can you take my photo? I'm just gonna step down. Oh no, I'm falling. While you're here, let's take a selfie together. Oh, just don't go back. Don't go back. That's all I have.
Good stuff. I wrote. Okay, so I'm from what I gather, you're fairly clean comic, which is totally cool. So I make sure to write things that are not evil. So I wrote down. You went. So your first episode was like I tried rock climbing, or what I call rock climbing. The government calls it vandalizing a national monument. I mean, like a misdirect there. When you say climbing a face, I feel like there's a misdirect joke there too. First thing I thought of was like, when people who are blind, they feel someone's face to like kind of identify how they look or whatever. I feel like that climbing a face line, there's a tag there. I can't think of it, but there's a misdirect opportunity. When you said something about massaging your feet, I'm like, what part, like if I was mountain climbing, the last thing that would be sore would be my to me it just sounds like a fetish person just there trying to find a reason to massage your feet, like how like my hands, my shoulders, my back, like stuff I use my muscles for. So something is there. I love the idea of exotic suicide. Like rich person suicide. I feel like you should give more examples. Like mountain climbing is one thing. Like what's like an exotic way to go? What else did I write? I can't even write my own writing. You mentioned I feel like there's the opportunity for a Lion King reference. Talking with the mountain with like the Simba, like putting the monkey's putting over like him, which is like totally Michael Jackson does it. He's a fucking asshole, but everybody fucking praises him. And then when you said wise guy on top of the mountain, all I could think of is like people were expecting this old man with a white beard. I just say it's Joe Pesci. Like it's a wise guy. It's a deep cut again. But yeah, that's all I got. But yeah, a lot of good stuff there.
I wrote all of my stuff in the chat box. Let me get back to the screen. So, like, how did you discover that you were a monkey? Like, give us some details, like something that happened. You were like, I realized I'm not a monkey. Like, from the climbing, obviously, but like you hate bananas or something like that. And then what happens if you're skiing and your hands were like, I don't know, because that's what you do when you're skiing. It's all about the evidence. Like, you need those pictures. That's the whole thing about pictures nowadays, is to, like, people take pictures of their food to prove to other people that they're still eating. We don't need that. We see that you're still posting, so we know. And then, like, call the fire department to get your mountain lion off the mountain, you know, because if it's a cat, that's your mountain lion. And then when you get to the top of the mountain, it's just some homeless dude. Like, that's it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, to piggyback off what he said, I thought it was a good tie back at the end there, with, you know, taking a picture up there, and I was going to piggyback off of that, you know, taking a picture, like, you know, the camera eats first on Instagram. I like that idea with this mountain thing, and the same thing with the homeless guy at the top. Instead of it being a guru, just kind of shattering the expectation. Like, you know, someone at the top of the mountain that you least expect to be up there. To me, makes
he was
it
wearing rags. Like, he looked like he was a guru, but really he was just some homeless
Yeah,
man that was wearing
dude.
like a potato sack around his waist.
Yeah, he was just wearing some bull stuff that, you know, he probably, you know, he wasn't a guru as a homeless guy. But I like the tie back. I like all the details and the ideas that you gave with it. It definitely helped paint a picture, to make a story. So I think there's a lot of meat on the bones to kind of, you can pivot either of those ideas and kind of pick little stuff out of those, like with becoming the monkey and the San Francisco thing. There's more there. But yeah, I thought it was very good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great feedback. I know, Mr. Bikehavitrist, you were
Oh,
trying
it
to
was
figure out how
great.
to-
You know, like it was absolutely fantastic. I missed all of it, but I will rewatch it definitely.
But you gave us a heads up
I'm
way
so
ahead.
jealous that I
So
missed all of this now, hearing the other guys. So
it was a great set for sure. We all did great, guys. Okay, so now the second part here is what we call the dealer's choice, where pretty much we do the material that we wanted to do in the first place. Sometimes you get topics that you like that work for you. Sometimes you don't, and sometimes. But this is always a way to make sure that we get to do some material that we like. I know, I'm aware. It's an exercise, guys. So we'll do the same order as we did last time. So, Mr. Bikehavitrist, did you have 3 to 5 that you wanted to work on of your own choosing?
I don't actually have such things. I really was just trying to get a feel for, because I haven't never done anything like this. So really just trying to get a feel for it. I'm planning on going down on YouTube, introducing myself, and
Okay.
you know, I do stuff. I don't really write things. I just make stuff up. So so I could, like, maybe towards the end, because I'm just recovering from dealing with all the stupid technology that we shit.
Yeah, no problem.
Maybe if you can put me last, and I'll do a little bit of, like, say, introduction
you're
on
comfortable
what
with.
psychiatry really is about, and see, you know, your
It's
feedback.
up to you. Like, it's all to your comfort. You don't have to. It's just the options there for you. But we'll ask you again if you don't want it. If you can't, no worries. So we'll go
Oh
with.
yeah, no. I'd like to do it, but maybe if you
All
can
right,
put me like
we'll have you
second
on
first,
last then.
just to
Yeah, for
sort my
sure.
thoughts. Yeah?
No problem. So,
Thank you.
Maurice, are you okay with going next then?
Yeah. So
Cool.
is this one? So this one is just like
Whatever you want to do. Dealer's choice. It's free range. I don't know, free range. You know what I
Okay.
mean.
Dealer's choice
Mango.
wouldn't be free range, because that would be the dealer choosing. And
Thank
you're
you,
the
Maurice.
dealer, Scott.
Okay. Well, this joke may or may not work, just because most of the places I would do this joke obviously is here in the U.S., where this
I have
joke.
the internet.
Well, some of the things that I may mention, I may just do. Okay, I'll switch it up a little bit, because I did.
All your heart.
We'll do. we have two, because I had two separate jokes I was gonna do, and this joke. I mean, people may not get it, but I'll just be cliche. I'll do a COVID joke. Yeah, I mean, COVID is obviously COVID's crazy. It's like soon as COVID happened, no other ailments, no other sicknesses seem to exist anymore. If you have allergies, it's COVID. You have pneumonia, it's COVID. Everything is COVID. You cough, that's COVID. If you sneeze, that's COVID. I sprained my ankle last week. I swear that shit was COVID because I haven't sprained my ankle in at least 5 years. I've never been this brittle before, so it definitely had to be COVID. It doesn't make any sense. Like COVID is taking over the world. I'm here. I'm getting some feedback.
Sorry, I think that was me.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I was just making sure it wasn't anything else. No, you're good. Yeah, one of my boys, he called me the other day. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm pretty sure I caught COVID." And I was like, "Well, that's crazy, man, but why the fuck are you calling me? What am I gonna do? You calling me? Don't call me. COVID might reach through the phone and kill both of us. No, don't fucking call me. COVID is dangerous. COVID is fucking dangerous." He's like, "Yeah, man, I called you because I know you caught it. And, man, I figured you know what to do, man. I woke up last night, I was coughing, I was sneezing, my body was aching, my dick was itching, your dick was itching. You got syphilis 19. I've never heard the CDC didn't say anything about dick itchy being a COVID symptom. I don't remember. I think you might need to go back and get a second opinion. I don't think that's something that the doctor said anything about. It's not something that you need to worry about, But I got tired of feeling like a second-class citizen in America and not getting my vaccine. You know what I mean? I went and got my vaccine. It felt good to get my vaccine. I felt like I was doing my part in the world and not, I was doing my part in the world. I can finally move around and travel and go outside. I felt good. I felt like I really needed to spread the word of, getting your vaccine, I was in the grocery store the other day and this lady was standing at the front of the line. And I said, "Excuse me, miss, have you gotten your vaccine yet?" She said, "No, I have not." I said, "Well, bitch, go to the back of the line. There's no reason why you're not vaccinated. Get your unvaccinated ass to the back of the line. The rest of us got shit to do. Who else isn't vaccinated? Take your ass to the back of the line, too. I got to get the fuck out of here. This is not no place for unvaccinated assholes like you guys." Doesn't make any sense. I'm impatient. Have zero patience. I don't like when simple shit takes a long time. I don't like when people turn simple shit into a job. I can't stand it. Like, don't ask me a million questions with something simple. It's probably my biggest pet peeve. Like pumping gas. Why does the gas pump want to ask you a million fucking questions before you can get gas? I don't understand it. Do you have a gas card? This is fucking Sunoco. No one has a fucking Sunoco card.
No one has Sunoco.
I barely know people with bank accounts. Do you want me to pull out a fucking gas card for Sunoco? No, I don't have a Sunoco card. Do you want a car wash? This fucking car wash has been broke for 6 months. You knew that before I pulled up here. Fucking gas station car wash is like a McFlurry machine at McDonald's. It never fucking works. Like, why are you asking me if I want a car wash? Would you like a receipt? I put $10 in this fucking gas tank. I don't need to see how broke I am again. Like, there's a reason why I put $10 in here in the first fucking place. No, I don't want a receipt. Like, can you imagine every single time you want to do some simple shit? I was in the bed with my girl, trying to have sex. We're laying in the bed. I'm trying to fuck. She turns around and looks at me and goes, "So you're trying to fuck me?" I've been rubbing my dick on the smalls of your back for the last 20 minutes. It never occurred to you that I was trying to have sex. It didn't even cross your mind, did it? I guess you figured I was trying to start a fire back here? Like, what did you think I was trying to do? But why me? You're the only fucking person in here. I don't know. If I had another option, I'd probably take it. I wouldn't ask myself 100 questions before I jacked off. So obviously, this is the best fucking option. Yes, you. Are you sure you want to fuck me? You know what? Actually, I don't. I'm going to jack off and go to sleep because you have just turned a 2-minute job into a 15-minute conversation. This could have been over 13 minutes ago, and you decided to make this a fucking job. You know what? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'll just end it right there.
Oh, good stuff. Oh man, very funny. Sorry, I'm. So when you said talking about the COVID stuff, like that's COVID, and I totally can relate to that. I was like, got a hangnail, that's COVID. But the way you were saying it,
Hangnail.
that's what it is. It's like
just
like you know
well,
how
they
like,
said that Prince Andrew was the first dude who actually died of like natural causes in the last year. I read that on the internet.
like you know how like back in the day, like back a year ago when you would like Google your symptoms and they'd be like cancer.
Yeah.
Like now it's
all
COVID.
the time.
It's COVID. Now that's COVID.
Everything's COVID now.
Yeah, so now it's like you're almost relieved you have cancer. Oh, thank God, I had COVID. It's just cancer. Oh,
it's just COVID. It's not cancer.
But the way you were saying that, like I'm a fucking Simpsons nerd. You're like, that's COVID. It's not like Jasper, like that's a paddling. That's a paddling school canoe. It's not a joke to say. I had to say it. I got something clever. I'm pretty proud of this one. You got a divorce. It's COVID.
Yeah, COVID
because you literally can't spell divorce without COVID.
Exactly.
Huh?
Yeah, well, COVID caused a divorce because you guys were stuck together and had to actually get to know each other. Like now.
But it's good wordplay because COVID is actually in the word divorce.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm proud. Please use it. I wrote down COVID is Jason Voorhees and the world is a giant summer camp of teens.
Just killing everybody.
Yeah. You said syphilis 19. I put down like I don't know if it's like if it's too obvious, but like you got from a 19-year-old. I think actually I refrained from that one. That's too obvious. But you said
love AIDS, so.
You're talking about the simple things, like like I feel like maybe you should elaborate because like what's simple to you may not be simple to most. You know what I mean? Like
right.
You might be smarter than most people, which you probably are. So it might like I'm dumb to some things. I say like I'll say things and I'll realize I say them after, and I'll feel like a fucking idiot. So I can totally kind of relate with what you're saying. I feel like there's an opportunity for misdirect when you're saying like was it you want a car wash? I felt like you can say because instead of saying gas in the tire, you could put down. I went to drive to get some put some air in my tire or something like that, and like you want to use a car wash? I'm like I fucking rode here on a bike. You know what I mean? Like you can just a short misdirect. And then I just wrote down when you're talking about like rubbing your dick on your girlfriend's or your wife's or whatever's back for 20 minutes, like that's the most passive aggressive fucking. Can you not? You're mad at her for like not getting the hint, but you're not just.
Well, that's why it's funny because like I mean we do that though. Like that's something that we clearly do at times when we're trying to get the hint of like not asking directly because we don't want to get shut down. But then we get mad when they don't take the fucking hint. Like you're so stupid sometimes.
I think guys, like if you don't know why I'm mad at you, I'm not going to tell you. Like it's like sex. It's like that's funny.
Yeah, but it's just fun. Like women also, you know, they turn stuff into like, you know, like what is that meme? That I don't know if you ever seen that meme where it's like if a girl starts drawing circles around your chest, the questions are coming. Like they just turn shit into a conversation. So I was just trying to make a play on that.
That's no, it was really funny. A lot of great stuff. That's all I got.
At the end of that conversation, and she's like, are you sure you want to do this? You're like, well, now that you mention it, I guess I don't really want to. Thanks for the chat. Good night. And you like just roll over and jerk off and go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, basically at that point.
And then you said $10. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying. I was just elaborating off what you said. I was like, yeah, you might as well go to sleep at that point.
And then when you said $10, like make that an uneven number. It just uneven numbers get better laughs. You're like $9.73. You know.
Yeah.
So that makes specific. Sense. Like you went in there with like $9 in quarters and like 67 pennies or whatever, and you had to count it out onto the fucking thing. She's like, "Did you want a car wash?" Oh yeah, let me count out another $6 for a fucking car wash out of my bag of change.
Yeah.
At least you like already sorted it. You got like all the quarters in one bag and all the nickels in one bag, so you're like easily able to count it out. I've been there. I do that all the time.
We've all
often.
been there. It's
Legal
funny.
tender, motherfucker.
And I'm even like, do I want to put it into the Coinstar? Because like if I put it in the Coinstar, I'm gonna lose 3%. No, I'm not putting it in. Fuck that. It's only $4. I'm not losing 3% of $4. That's 12 cents of gas. But yeah, make it an uneven number.
Got it. Yeah, I'm gonna write that in there.
Good.
And then like your wife is very convincing. Like, do you really want sex? Yeah, I guess maybe not. My bad. I'm sorry I even had that idea, you know. What the hell's your problem, dude? I told you we're going to sleep. It's not sex time. Like, talk to your penis.
Yeah.
It's got a mind of its own. Actually, my penis wrote that joke. So, like, if you're going to give credit to anybody, just mention him. He's a stand-up guy.
What we said, but it was about a penis and a COVID. You know, like your penis is hurting, must be the COVID. And the visual, which I had, was, you know how they insert the swabs into your nose?
Mm-hmm.
Inserting the swab into, you know, suggesting to your friend to check by inserting the swab into the head of his penis.
That would be. Did you know that? Well, I don't know if they did that in other countries, but in the U.S. at one point, that was the way that you got STD tests.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, my dad
for syphilis and chlamydia and stuff.
Yeah, that was the way before they did urine testing for like the normal ones. That's the way they used to do it, and I only know this because my dad made me do it when I was a fucking virgin. I had a UTI, and he swore that I.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was wild. I actually have a joke about it, but long story short, you know, I was a virgin at the time, and I was telling my dad my symptoms. He's like, "You got an STD," and I'm like, I started questioning myself, like, did I have sex and I didn't know? Like, who did I fuck? I would love to remember this. Like, I don't know who this was. But yeah, and that's how they that's how they I had to get the test at the time. I was like 16. And I
Your
was
dad's jealous. He's like, you motherfucker, you getting more ass than me?
Yeah, you getting more ass than me now. How's you going to get this swab right fucking now? I was so mad. I was pretty mad because I was a virgin at the time. I was like, I know I didn't do anything.
I know I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's
Army medical in a socialist country. So I feel you. I've been through it. Yeah.
Any more feedback, Sonny?
Yeah, so I thought it was funny. I like your whole angle about sprained ankle because of COVID. And like, I was thinking of other things that you could do that are silly. Like if you spilled your drink, it's because of COVID.
Yeah.
If a bird pooped on you, it's because of COVID.
Yeah. Just blame everything on COVID.
Yeah. And I liked what you said to your friend, why are you calling me? You have COVID. And I wonder if like, you can talk about, we don't know how this transmitted. Now we have to get a COVID test or something like that.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good tag. It's like you calling me. Now I got to go get tested for COVID. Because COVID might come through the phone and kill us both. So I can.
I mean,
right there.
This virus was transmitted by bats. Who knows how else it could be transmitted?
Yeah.
And then I like the line where you're like, "Bitch, go back of the line." But I was like trying to see what else I could say, like, and then I was like, and then get your shot, but that's not really fun. I just like I feel like I could add more to it, and I thought I liked that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, very, very funny stuff, Maurice. So, Mr. Did you want to go last, or do you have something ready, Mr. Psychiatrist?
I think you said want to go last.
I can pull something off. As I said, like I just improvise stuff, and I've got so many stories that I can tell. I'll just have to pick one and blab about.
Did you want to wait one more?
Yeah, I can give it a shot.
You want to do it now or after Sonny?
Oh, after Sonny.
Sorry?
After Sonny.
Okay. All right, Sonny, did you have 3 to 5? Hang on a second.
Yeah, so just 3 to 5 minutes I have?
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with, but yeah.
Okay, perfect. Great. I went to medieval times last year, It's a castle with a gift shop inside. The biggest problem was finding this place on Google, which was also a problem in actual medieval times. If you got lost, you had to ask a dragon for directions. He could tell you where to go, but your hair would be on fire. As an Indian American, what was traumatic for me is medieval is not spelled how you think. There's no evil in medieval. The evil is in that gift shop. $40 for a plastic sword? That's some dark age bullshit. Medieval times, modern price gouging. Medieval times is supposed to be inspired by Spanish royalty, but everyone talks in English accents. I think it all started with historical films and moved on to everything else. Even in The Lion King, think about it, Scar. He was Mufasa's brother. Why does he have a British accent? And they were in Africa. He sound like Jeremy Irons. Oh yeah, he is Jeremy Irons. He's a lion, but he sounds like a chimney sweeper. You think of Troy, Gladiator, Anna Karenga, The Hunt for Red October. They try to speak Russian for 5 minutes before Sean Connery breaks out in a Scottish accent. Because Russian and Scottish are very close. On the other hand, did you see Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves? Anyone who could not do a British accent was in that film. Kevin Costner tried to do a British accent. He sounded Russian. I think American accents can sound dignified. Why can't Scar the Lion have a Brooklyn accent? Joe Pesci should have played him. Hey, Zazu. You think I'm funny? Funny how? Funny like a hyena? Do I amuse you? Do I effing amuse you? I'm a freaking lion. So, moving on from that. Last year, my 5-year-old niece asked me when I was going to get married. I told her I was married a few years ago to Johnny Uncle. She's like, I don't remember that. I said, I wish I had your memory. I got married a few years ago. We did so many couples activities, like ice skating, axe throwing, and going to counseling together. We also gave each other plenty of space. He had the whole man cave to himself, and I moved back to my parents' house. When I first married my ex, he gave me a demonstration of how to wash a plate. First, he said, first you wash the front, then you wash the back, and then you wash the side. It was groundbreaking. I told him, this is great. I usually leave them in the yard and hope it rains. I am getting a little feedback here. I don't know who it is. Oh, thanks. I celebrated my second wedding anniversary by filing for divorce. My mom is pressuring me to find someone. She's like, Sony, you are not prioritizing getting married. I'm like, Mom, I just got divorced. Can we please leave the courthouse? I divorced my ex because he didn't want to have kids. To be fair, he never said that, but he never wanted to have sex with me either. I found out he wanted to retire at 55. That means he never wanted to have kids because you would have to pay for kids until they're in their 30s, maybe 40s. Hey, my dad's past retirement age, and he's still working to support my comedy career. Nowadays, people never grow up. 26-year-olds can still be on their parents' insurance. I was talking to my friend who's a pediatrician, and she said that she had people in college come to see her. Let's talk about when you can and cannot see a pediatrician. If you think you're pregnant and it's a planned pregnancy, you're too old for a pediatrician. If you can rent a car, you're too old for a pediatrician. If you can go to a bar and not get carded, you're too old for a pediatrician. And finally, if you drove to the appointment in a rented car, you're too old for a pediatrician. And okay, great. Well, I guess last year, because my time's almost like pretty much up, my ex and I had a separate food and separate items like in pantries. Like we lived like roommates. Except sometimes you had sex with a roommate, especially if you're Bert and Ernie. But I'm not a Muppet with benefits.
All right. Great jobs, honey.
Thanks.
I wrote a few things. Okay, so I don't know what your comfort level is, but with the medieval times, I feel like there's a joke there because talking about like what the medieval times, and I feel like I want to be like, oh, I can't think of the words, but there's a word for like there's a way to like maybe reference a third world country because medieval times are like back then where times weren't as caught up, so you kind of make maybe a correlation. I don't know how to phrase it right now because my brain's fried.
You eat with your hands there, right?
And they have mutton.
But they actually give you a fork and so if you're a vegetarian like I am, they actually gave me like utensils and they gave me something else that wouldn't be served in medieval times.
I don't think they would really give a shit if you were a vegetarian in medieval times.
Yeah, they wouldn't. Before that, they do.
Sire, I do not eat meat. Can I have more vegetables? No,
gluten-free, please. Yeah, that'd be a great premise actually, like gluten-free, because it's all Paleo, like the Paleo diet. That's when it's all meat usually. I think I don't know science. I like. Okay, so you're talking about like Scar. I feel like there's what other movies would be so different with a British accent, like historically or just in general, like just the mood, the setting. I think there's something you can kind of like delve into a bit more. Like there's a few more examples there. What else did I write down? Oh, it's the couples activities. You're like, and you went to marriage counseling. And I went to bank robbery. So I was thinking Bonnie and Clyde. I was trying to think of that kind of couple. I love the idea of you waiting for the weather just for life things. Like, you want to shower, wait for it to rain, or what I mean? I feel there's a lot of different examples that you can kind of go with, like not just raining, but just, like a hurricane, whatever you can think of to like kind of contrast with something in your life that you don't want to do on your own or whatever. Like you can think of something. I'm pretty sure this joke's been done many times. I don't know, but I just wrote down arranged divorce. Because they always hear what arranged marriage is, but I feel like it's been done, the concept, but or maybe like that. You can't. A premise is always like open, but like I don't know if it's been burned to death or not. But yeah, that's you didn't say about it. I just thought of it with the arranged divorce part. So you talk about.
Well, I think marriage should be like a contract that you would like renew every 5 years or something. You're like, do you want to continue this, or do you want to say that we're done? And
or what if you take a test?
Test like a driving test.
Yeah, like a drive. You have to take a test again. Like you have to fill out a questionnaire.
You're like, what is your wife's birthday? And like, it's all these personal questions to see if you actually paid attention and tried to learn about her. And then you're like, I don't remember her birthday. Okay, you got to stick it out for another 10 years. So like the second 5 years is like you learning about your wife when you should have did that before you got married.
It's like the Green Card movie where he can only, the French guy, I can't remember what's his name, he can only get to America to get a green card if he knows everything about his wife. So you have to basically do that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, you have to take the test and all that stuff as well, but yeah. The people who take that exam know more about America than Americans do.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're supposed to be able to name the presidents, and like, I can name a few of them. I don't know specific orders or numbers or things like that, except for a very few. But yeah, that's the question. And you like got to know the capital city of every state. And I don't know if I know that for every state.
I'm glad you went 10 provinces. Jeez.
I used to know. I lived in Vancouver, so I knew all the provinces. But
Oh,
don't
nice.
ask me now. Yeah, I did.
Well, like I still get confused by the territories. I don't know if that counts as a province or not. So I'm like, I don't know, get those wrong. Sorry, any feedback on? Sorry, any feedback on Sonny's set for Mr. Psychiatrist or Maurice?
Okay, yeah, I'll give you a quick introduction into who I am and where I am.
Oh, sorry,
and I'll try and give you.
Sorry, I meant the feedback part. If you have any more feedback
for her set,
Sonny's.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I'll go. So yeah, it was great. I think my favorite part was definitely the when you were going into the marriage piece of basically you can tell you didn't want to have kids because they didn't have sex with you and all that stuff. I feel like there's a lot of meat on the bone there. I have a lot of friends who I feel like arranged marriages. There's so many jokes in arranged marriages and just so much riffing you could do with like comparisons and like I don't know if your weddings was your wedding like 3 days? I feel like
No, it wasn't. Actually, it wasn't even an arranged marriage, which is kind of crazy.
Well, not arranged marriages, but I'm just speaking in general. But like, was your marriage in general like? Did you have like the normal marriage ceremony of like multiple ceremonies and all that stuff?
Like one day for the family.
Yeah, no, I didn't do as many as people usually do. I had 2 days, but people usually do 4 or 5 days, and
yeah. I have a lot of Indian friends, and I've been to a lot of Indian weddings, and it's a fucking marathon. You need to take off work for a week to go to an Indian wedding. There's a lot that happens, but in general, I there's a lot. I mean, being Indian and talking about that, going into like how much of a you wasted your vacation days when you could have been doing like hot girl shit. Instead, you were planning a fucking 3-day wedding. Just something. I just feel like there's a lot of meat on the bone with like the whole marriage part, and even getting to the point where how much that was such a waste of your time eventually. And then your mom. I like the fact that you did when you were talking about your mom was questioning you about marriage, and you hadn't even left the courthouse yet. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there as well with just like your mom bugging you about having kids or like doing this or doing that, and it's like, can I sign the paper first? Like, is there, what I mean? There's like a lot of opportunity there. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty good set. I like the way that you broke that down with just like your dad still taking care of you and he wanted to retire at 55. I thought that was all good stuff.
Thank you.
Like your mom is at the wedding and your mom's like, when are you gonna get pregnant? But then your dad is over there getting your husband like super drunk to where he couldn't perform on your honeymoon. And then you did that for 3 days and your mom's just like, when are you gonna have a baby? All right, Mom, it's been 3 days.
All right, great feedback, everyone. Great set again, Sonny. And we'll finish up with, sorry about that earlier misunderstanding, for Mr. Psychiatrist. Whenever you're ready, you let me know. I will not interrupt you. I will start that timer.
Okay, so I'm ready. I'll just introduce myself. All of this stuff is made up on the spot. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just let my inner monologue come out through my mouth. I have no idea, honestly. So basically, here we go. I'm Mr. Psychiatrist. I live in Australia. I come from Croatia, and I spent quite a chunk of my life in Austria. People often confuse these two parts of the world, Australia and Austria. But let me explain what that is. So, like, if you have a globe, if you believe in a globe model, Austria somewhere up here, Australia somewhere down there. If you don't believe in a globe model, if you apply that stuff, then let me explain this to you as well. You have Austria somewhere around here, Australia, I think it's about there. Okay. No. Anyway, I want to tell you a story about my life in the army because I don't look it, but I'm apparently the elite force of the socialist country. Defense force, the last line on defense. God. Anyway, so I spent some time in the army, a whole year. Well, actually, a little bit more because the thing is in the army, if you're a little bit of a joker, which I was, sort of like, I thought it would be funny to sneak into the room, which is prohibited, and attach a pirate flag on the back of the national flag, roll it up. So at the wanker, it gets the honor of raising the flag, for being the best soldier at the last, whatever, week. Like in a company these days, you have the best worker of the week. Oh, we have this rubbish in the army, the best soldier, basically the one that dob absolutely everyone. Yeah. So I thought, like, let's burn that bastard. So I set it up nicely. I put a pirate flag on top of the national flag, rolled it up, and next day, when it was done with the camera, it's gone nuts. Is that all right? Is it just my phone? Anyway, next day, at the raising of the flag, here he's the proud boy, lifting the damn thing up, and the pirate flag just, waving. Apparently, the government didn't like it, so they shoved me in a jail for about 4 weeks, which I don't really understand the concept of the jails like that, because all I did was peeling potatoes for 4 weeks, nothing else. They took away my belt, they took away my shoelaces. Oh, God. Shoelaces in case I decide to hang myself. It's like, like my brain is not developed enough to make a rope out of the trousers and like the Rapunzel, out of the trousers, out of the shirt, and just hang myself. But no, they're too intelligent for that kind of stuff. So anyway, while I was peeling potatoes for 4 weeks, the other idiots were basically doing all the exercises for 4 weeks. So punished. So that's what I thought. But then what happened is that you get 4 weeks added on top of your 1 year compulsory duty. So by the time I was meant to be released from the army, it was a year and a half gone. So anyway, but during that year and a half, what happened, for example, here's one little story for you. I get to, occasionally we take turns in guarding the weapons. You spend the whole night or 2 nights or 3 nights if you're a bad guy like me and you don't get to sleep, guarding the weapons and making sure that nothing crazy happens in the base. Well, on that particular night, there was a bit of altercation between the Bosnian guy and a Serbian, and oh boy, Bosnians, just stay away from them. This Serbian dude was like in an argument, and he goes, suck my dick, you idiot. And of course, the Bosnian, he just went straight for it and bites it off. Yeah. Well, I'm supposed to be in charge, me, the last defense. So I had to, after 6 months of not seeing a single woman, because there's no women in the army over there, I had to carry this guy, his dick, in my hand into the nearest hospital and have a decent conversation with the woman at the entrance. Yeah, I'm holding his organ. My organ is gone up like that because I haven't seen the woman for 6 months, and I had to tell her what's going on. Can you imagine that kind of situation? How embarrassing and how soul-crushing that is. I have not been with a woman until I was 24 after that experience. That's how ashamed I was of myself. There you go. That's my story. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh wow. Oh, I just spit my fucking tongue. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I just bit my tongue. That was really uncomfortable. Your story was great, but my tongue was pain. I'll try to talk. It's fine. It's fine. So funny. Shut up. It hurts. Oh, you're talking about, I don't know. You said, I don't know what I'm doing, and I put down, and how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Because you're psychiatrist thing. I loved your flat earther globe little. I feel like there's more to it. I don't know what. But I feel like it's got legs.
Yeah.
Because there should be examples like this is that. So like I feel like this is this, and then this. Like I feel like there's other things you can do. I just can't think of. It's weird because I have some ability to like see the pieces but not know where they go. But there's something there. When you said you spent there's an opportunity for a joke. You said you spent time in the military. It's like I spent 1 year in the military as a POW. Like you know what I mean? Like just a little.
Yeah,
which you did, but like that's a good side joke there. That's a good way to. And I put down, and I feel like you should talk more about like how does one become the soldier of the week? Like they take the most bullets. Like I feel like there's like so much you tell me because that's fascinating to a lot of people who
Well,
don't have that.
this is the thing. Like I can't do these kind of things in 5 minutes. So this is what I'm struggling
Of
with,
course.
and this is why I want to go on a YouTube and really tell my stories. Because to answer your question, how you get the soldier of the week, you shoot someone who jumps over the fence to get the volleyball that they kicked over the fence. That was me, the idiot week.
Is there a scoreboard? I'm just picturing a tally or like a montage.
Scott's got 4 shots this week.
Yeah, if you shoot someone who's trying to jump over the fence, you get a month off the duty to go home. If you miss, you get extra service because you wasted the bullet.
Do you get points on like where you
so
shot?
I've been actually, I had the gun to my face saying shoot him, and I shot the tree, and I had to stay fucking longer again. So this is kind of stories that I have. You don't see this in like American movies or Officer and a Gentleman. Like I spent 4 nights greeting fucking kids, going from one tree to another, going, "Hello, General," whatever fuck his name was, for 4 nights, no sleep. You know. So these are.
You just lost a YouTube subscriber.
I have to deal with morons that tell me about online bullying. You know?
Oh man, that's I like I said, like as long as you know that you have a lot to talk with, like I said, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes, but just it's with the restrained time. But thank you so much for respecting the time, everybody.
Thank you guys for giving me a chance. I really wanted to test the material and see. Am I going to be like completely burned out if I do this?
You got some personality and some stories that I would love to hear for sure. I got a little bit more feedback. So the peeling potatoes thing, I put down. I love how they take away your shoelaces because you keep a peeler, like them.
That's a good point.
Like you can't hang yourself, but you can cut your wrist.
You get the knife, not the peeler. I didn't even think of that. That's great.
Like you're trying to like peel your wrist, and it's just like you got a red mark on your arm because the peeler doesn't cut shit.
And
a peeler's good.
That's
yeah.
good.
Were you wearing pants? Well, I mean, they take away your shoelaces and your belt, but did you have why are you naked peeling potatoes for other dudes? Like that's weird.
Hopefully it was just potatoes. The last thing I wrote is when you're talking about like holding this guy's like unattached dick. I was like, talk about a hand job.
That's a good friend, man. Like I don't know many people that would like carry their best friends, or not even it wasn't even your best friend, just some random dude's dick down the street.
Well, they're best friends now. They better be after that.
I didn't know him. Yeah.
Man, good. So much good stuff. Anybody else with some commentary or feedback?
So I was wondering, like, so as far as the jokes being concerned, I was wondering, like, I would like to know more information, and then you can set it up that way. Like, when were you in the army? Like, why were you in the army? How old were you in the army? Because, like, generally your brain is not developed until you're 25 years old. And were you kicked out of, like, when you were kicked out of the army, were you like stripped of everything? Like, and then I was also like, I thought like it was interesting how you were a bad guy. Well, not that you're a bad guy, but you were in trouble, but then you guarded the weapons, and it doesn't make sense because, like, I'm like, oh, they seemed really brilliant there. So, like, to say something like that, like, yeah, let's just have everyone that's like in trouble guard the weapons, and here's a nuclear bomb, and on top of that, they gave me access to all the nuclear bomb like information.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'll be sharing these stories, as I said, because I've got a ton of them. Yeah.
So I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, but I would love to find out more.
So to play off Sonny, if I may quickly, sorry, I get ideas and I'll forget if I don't say it. So when she said like put you in front of a nuclear bomb, and like I'm under the impression that they didn't like educate you on certain things. So the impression that I get was like, it's almost like, when you go to a carny, a festival, you see carnies operating rides, they have no fucking engineering skills. I was like, all right, here's this device that can like be responsible for killing lots of people. But yeah, okay. Like,
Yeah.
It's put together with little cotter pins,
yeah,
they were drunk when they put it together.
just
But
picture me
that's
with a
part of the
mullet and an
fun of
AC/DC
going
shirt,
to like the circus or the carnival was like potentially seeing one of the carts fall off the Ferris wheel.
and it'd be the same with the military. Seeing a missile be misguided.
Absolutely.
Sorry about Maurice. What did you want to say, buddy?
No, I was gonna say the same thing as Sony. Just like more detail. Obviously, it was a good story. Um, just having those details helps like paint the picture a little bit more of, as a person listening to the story. A lot of times is you find you're able to land a lot more jokes when um, the audience is able to create an expectation and like visualize what's happening. And then when you drop in, whether it's, the punchline of like whatever you're actually doing, or if you're shattering an expectation, um, the thing is like when our mind we start creating an ending to your story. We start to fill in the gaps for you before you ever get there. So when you do drop your punchline or you do shatter an expectation, it's that much funnier. But that comes from the details.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I recently wrote down something, but it was about being specific. Like it was a Bill Burr joke that I wrote down. I don't think I can find it. It says, okay, it says, believe in this in all of this shit. Why would I not believe in a bearded baby moonwalking across the water? So like he was very specific. This is a bearded baby moonwalking across the water. Like it was a baby Jesus joke or something like that. But like when you're specific with something, then people can clearly put that image into their mind. And like you said, they can paint their own picture and their mind will go off into this direction. And then boom, your punchline is the opposite direction. So you want to help people paint that picture so that you can steer them that way. And then boom, your punchline's over here out of nowhere in the opposite direction.
Yeah. So my thing is like, as I said, I've never done this before. So I just tell stories and my stories are always different. So, do you recommend to actually sit down and like an actor actually learn the lines? And do you guys memorize your lines, or do you rely on improvisation, or is it dependent on different people?
It's for me. It's I try to like if you memorize your lines, you want to sound like a robot. You want to be able to sound like authentic, genuine. So you want to remember your power words. I like to call them. Like you want to remember your punches. You want to remember like your how you're gonna vocalize it and stuff like that. Your cadences. That's it. Your inflection, your cadences. But I don't remember. Like I remember where I'm going to end, and I know where I'm going to begin. I try not to remember too much. Just certain words you want to remember because it really punches up the joke, right? But that's just me. I used to rehearse myself like verbatim, and I sounded like a robot, and it was just took a while longer for me to get find my groove because of it.
I think it's it's one of those things where you just have to work a lot of it out on stage. I know for me, I have an improv background, so for me, a lot of my jokes initially I would just write down just like the topic, and I would be able to riff on those things. But like trying to get better technique as a writer, I write the entire joke out. And just like he said, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and an end, and I know how to get to certain points of it. But you memorize your joke once you perform it so many times, it becomes funnier because you get more comfortable with the material. But for me, I like I said, I come from improv, so I like to memorize. I use my jokes as a life raft, and I like to do a lot of organic material. So like you telling a story, it reminds me of like Anthony Jeselnik is an act. Like he doesn't really veer too far off of topic too much because it's like constructed from start to finish his entire act. And that might be your style. For me, I like having organic shows and then using the jokes that I wrote as a life raft. It just depends on what you find in your voice as you get on stage or as you perform your stories. You'll start figuring out like I'm this kind of way or that kind of way. You kind of see what works. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of just the more you rehearse whatever it is you're doing, the more comfortable, the easier to get for you.
Have you ever seen the movie Reservoir Dogs? Like he's like, you want to take this story, and here's the story written out word for word. Read it a few times, but I want you to be able to tell this story back to me in your own words. So if we were giving everybody in this group the same story, and then we were told to tell that story, everybody would tell it a little bit different, you know, like so that's the good part about like how everybody talks about like the same premises like dating, but it's your view on dating, it's your view on what happened or whatever that makes it different. Everything's been done, but it's not been done by you, so you're the one who makes it different. Your truth is what pulls the story in and makes it your story. So like details, things that are weird, that are going to make people think about certain things, like we were saying before, that's going to stand out in their head. They're going to, that guy's a little, you know, maybe he's not all there, but it's because of like the things that you would speak about or whatever, or the way that you would talk about it. Like for me, I have said jokes numerous times. So I know how to set it up. I know how to end it. Sometimes the middle changes on stage. You know, a noise happens. You got to address that noise. So that may happen in the middle of your joke. How are you going to get back to your joke? Maybe you lost it when maybe you didn't. But like sometimes you just say things differently. But if you say them enough times, you realize this is the least amount of words that I need to say to get to this point. So I can have a conversation with somebody in the crowd, and then I can steer that conversation to my joke. So like Maurice was saying, it's organic. You're able to talk with people and get to know the audience and connect with them. But then you also have to be able to steer your conversation into that direction and then deliver your story or deliver your joke. Like it's like it's something you know rehearsed, but in all actuality, you don't know what's going to happen on that night. So everything can change depending on everything that's happening in the room. So I mean, you could throw a joke out because it's not going well and go to the next one or whatever, something like that.
So you pretty much have like jokes like, don't take this the wrong way, but triggers in terms of like not like trigger as I'm upset, but trigger as I'm like that reminds me of that. I want to do this joke right now that you correlated with like a web.
Like everything, like basically is connected. If I told a joke, if somebody said something about their mom, well, I got a joke about my mom that leads to my dad that connects with my brother that, you know, could be and I watched this Ralphie May thing, and he said he had these point systems for his set. And he said, every time you do the set, you got 5 points. So if you can rearrange the jokes and tell them in a different order and maybe make them connect in a different way than you're used to telling them, you get 1 point. Like if you tell a new joke, you get another point. I don't remember all of his things, but just simply rearranging jokes can make the punchline that much better. So, you know, you may be saying it this way, and then if you took it and said it in reverse, it's a whole different joke. You know, it's a lot better. And that's something that like I think happens over time, being able to practice it so many times. Like here, you don't care. Like I mean, I just wrote some ideas. I know some things I want to say, but I don't know everything about it. So feedback or just like your own mind thinking about that, like, oh, if I said this word, maybe it would be different or something like that. So some jokes like take a year or more time for me to like formulate. I don't put work into them, but if something comes up, then I'll add it to it. So sometimes it takes a little while. If I'm working on it, if I'm saying it on stage, it happens quicker. But just me writing sometimes doesn't always get where I want to go.
Awesome.
Cool. That was just fantastic. Yeah, honestly, thanks for that. Yep. That was brilliant.
Wise words. I don't mean to cut people off, but I'm very tired. I had a long day.
Yeah.
Very long day of hosting. That's not a long day, but just hosting is actually exhausting more than I thought it would be, especially just sitting down. I don't know. Gotta get my blood checked. Anyways, that being said, everybody, before we take our farewell, let's plug some social media and projects we're working on. We'll start with Mr. Psychiatrist. What do you got to share with the people that are watching, and what would you like to promote?
Well, as I said, I'm just testing the waters, really. I didn't know if this is worth showing to the world or not, and I'm super encouraged. Thanks for that. So right now, I'm just on a Facebook under psychiatry.com. I mean, Facebook, whatever, psychiatry. Starting the website, and soon it's going to be psychiatry on YouTube.
Awesome.
For now.
Sounds great.
Thanks.
Looking forward to those stories. Jeremy, what's got?
Jeremy Wagner on Facebook, Jeremy Wagner on YouTube. We got some shows coming up, but maybe there's COVID going to shut down the country again. So I don't know. I'm in Vietnam. It's okay. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you. And hopefully that's not the case. Maurice, this is your first time doing this. I hope you enjoyed it. And, what do you got to promote?
Yeah, this was awesome, man. I always, this is no different than getting in the gym and working out. Any opportunity to exercise your comedy mind is still always good reps to have. So it's always good to challenge yourself with words and things like that. So I appreciate you putting this together, and thanks for having me. So I am on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on TikTok, on everything. Mainly on TikTok and Instagram, it's the same. It's Mo Funny, M-O. It's funny with 3 Y's. It's funny with 3 Y's. So find me on there. I do a lot of outside of stand up. I do a lot of skits and things like that on both Instagram and TikTok. So definitely go follow me. Check those out. And that's all. That's all I got, man. I would give you guys my LinkedIn, but fuck you guys. I don't need to give you all that shit. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I appreciate you guys having me, and I'm looking forward to getting on a couple of these in the future. So.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to have you, Mr. 5,921 followers.
I have more on TikTok. I mean, you guys look on TikTok. I have a lot more on TikTok.
You're a very, very funny comedian. And
thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Cool dude. And Sonny, what do you got to promote?
You can just find me on Instagram, Sonic Comedy, just like how it, my handle's right here. And it was fun. And that's all I have.
Okay. Awesome. I follow as I do that. Wonderful. Well, thank you all again for doing this. I apologize. My energy wasn't as well, and I didn't contribute to the jokes because I'm tired and I'm lazy. No, I'm mostly tired. Just very, very tired. And but thank you for holding. But for it's an hour 7 minutes. So thank you so much, you guys. Very fun time. Good job to everybody. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, you too, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Everyone take care and be safe out there.
See you guys.
Later.